is on, Sharice?
Hello, can you hear me?
Bring it closer. You got
Hello? Okay.
Hello, hello. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us for another edition of Brains Behind the Beauty. We have two special guests today, Jessica Esquire,
Hey, everybody.
and we have Sharice Burton.
Hey there, hey there.
So, thanks again for everyone tuning in. I posted a few things on Instagram today just about topics that we plan to discuss. So, if you are just tuning in, please use the link in my bio. Ask us any questions through that link. You can ask us live. I am live right now on Instagram, but use the link in my bio because I cannot physically answer or respond to any questions right now. So, anyway, we're not going to waste any time. We have an hour and some change, so let's get straight into it. We'll start with you, Jessica. So you are boss chick. You just moved out here to Atlanta. You in the city doing your thing. You just celebrated a birthday. Tell us about why law, how you got into law, and how you're using your platform and your influence to have the largest Black law firm in the nation.
So first, that's my goal. It hasn't happened
Yes.
yet, but that's what my goal is.
Right.
I decided to go into the legal field, I think at first because I was really introverted and really, really shy and quiet, which I know that's weird to you because I don't stop talking.
That's a surprise.
And I just would always just look at people that were more extroverted and were able to kind of talk to strangers, and I would just want to be that for myself, but it didn't happen. And so I was thinking what career I could go into. Plus, obviously, the financial aspect of going into law, I kind of like that.
I see the bling bling. Okay, she came in here repping. What was it? 5.5 carats you got on?
No.
Oh, no, that was for day.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
So, so I was liking that aspect of it too. And then obviously I feel like there needs to be more minority representation with the field only having 5% Black attorneys. So
Right.
those were all kind of some of the reasons why I kind of wanted to go into the legal field. And then just beyond that, I've just always been good at school. So I was either looking at those movies, I always see the person that's on drugs. You could have been a doctor, you could have been a lawyer.
Aww.
Then they throw something else in there, but it's always doctor and lawyer. So I'm well,
Right.
let me just do one of those two
Right,
things
right.
since I'm good at school.
Right. That's what's up. Okay. And Sharice, thank you again for being here. So we have a lawyer and we have a doctor.
Yeah.
So Jess told us a little bit about why she wanted to go into law. Sharice, tell us about engineering and why you chose that path.
So I was gonna say, Doctor of Engineering. I'm an
Yes.
industrial manufacturing engineer,
Okay.
project manager, all that good stuff. And
Island girl. You had an accent.
Ooh, and the accent.
I can't find the accent. I cannot find it even when I try. But yes,
Yes.
I'm from the Caribbean, Dominica originally, lived in the
Okay.
Virgin Islands. I got to America 7 years ago, and it's like she say, I was good at school, but I love to be told, girls don't do that. And then to add to it, Caribbean girls don't do that. So I loved breaking barriers, trying new things. And then every challenge I came to, I was like, I could top that one. So I would go a little higher. And I
Right.
loved being independent. So
Right.
I always thought, well, what can I do to take care of myself and my family? And I just found that field where you're going to pay me today or tomorrow.
Right.
One of these days, you're going to pay me. And so that's what got me into engineering. I've been good at math, love science, love a challenge.
Okay.
And I was like, let's do this. And I'm going to do it in the most feminine way possible. So
Okay.
we're going to beat our face and go to the plans.
Right.
And that
We
was
see the eyebrow, sis.
Right.
I just felt like it was necessary. So that was my background a little bit. So,
Okay,
yeah.
that's dope. So I see some common ground, even with me, is that financial stability. That's number one.
Because
for
you can't
us.
be relying on these dudes.
Right.
That's one thing right there.
That's the first cardinal rule.
You can't. Our producer over here making faces, but we can't. Y'all flip the script in a second. So we gotta rely on ourselves.
We got to secure the bag.
Okay. But what I've just found personally is on that topic of just dating, men will try to talk to you just because you got the bag.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Versus trying to secure their own bag, right? What you
And
say?
stop telling them you got the bag.
And it's funny because I felt that a lot, right? I
Right.
find myself hiding a lot of who I am just because I feel like guys start to, create this image of, well, is she okay? So she don't need my money.
No, sir, I still would like some free stuff, actually.
Exactly. Wait, no, let's just talk about Jessica for a second. Jessica
What was
over
that?
here got the bag. Jessica will post her Cash App handle in a minute. How much money did you raise for your birthday?
I got from like my Cash App thing, I got
Yes.
$1,050 from my
$1,050 from Cash App from her birthday. She got the bag and she's secure. She's still securing another bag.
Residual income.
My friends
Right.
told me I'm a professional beggar because every time I ask for something, they're like,
They like,
You
and
get
it's
it.
so crazy. I posted once maybe I posted on Facebook. Y'all know everybody, mom and aunties on Facebook,
Right.
but I posted on Facebook for my birthday once, and I literally had somebody was like, "What you don't need that."
How do you
But
know
I'm
I
just like,
need
it's
it?
not.
I don't
It's
need
still
it.
my
I want
birthday.
free money. That's what you don't understand.
You
I
want
think
the
it's a social demeanor, right? They feel like because you're this person with this career, with
Mhm.
whatever, that you should never want for anything. And that's why it's hard to date, to exist, to find friend circles, to evolve, because you're always being judged topically by the careers you chose.
Right. Exactly.
So maybe it's just me. That's my.
No, I totally agree.
That's understandable. I still professionally beg, and I still like my free.
You
My
still like your
free
free shit. I mean, your free stuff. Excuse my French. Your free stuff. All right. So just go back and forth. And of course, if you're tuned in and you have any questions for anyone directly, feel free to ask. But Jessica, so back to you being this bomb lawyer now in the city, you just partnered with Esquire Litigation Group and you brought on Amorosa. So how did that come about? Tell us about that.
Okay, so basically what happened was there was I don't know if you know, but I used to work with the Cochran firm. So one of the attorneys from the Cochran firm that we knew from back when we worked there, he I guess knew that she was looking for a position, and he thought she may be interested in working with our firm. So he kind of bridged that gap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would your advice be to lawyers out there that are trying to make moves like you? There's whether it be switching from a different firm to meet their personal needs or personal lifestyle, or just putting themselves on the market to practice law in the way that you're doing it. Like, what would your advice be to them?
Well, I just want to clarify because some people don't realize my firm, it's been the same people
Okay.
since I started personal injury, since I left the state attorney's office.
Okay.
I started at a small firm, and then we all partnered and left. We all stopped working at the small firm and joined with the Cochran firm. We started the Cochran firm Jacksonville. There was no
Gotcha.
Cochran firm Jacksonville. We became the Cochran firm Jacksonville.
Mhm.
We grew, and then we all, in the end of August, left the Cochran firm Jacksonville, and we started Esquire Litigation Group.
Okay.
So it's not like it seems perhaps that I've been with like 3 different
Yeah,
firms recently,
it
but it's
did.
all been the
Okay.
same exact people, just more people that we've hired, and we've kind of just grown and switched names and done different branding things.
Okay.
So it's kind of been the same situation the whole time.
Okay.
And then the other question was what? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah. So just what would your advice be to other young aspiring lawyers out there? Like if they see you, because I know if I was a lawyer and I saw you, I'm like,
Tell me
oh,
how.
I want to
Teach
be
me.
like, that's the kind of lawyer I want to be. So like, what would your advice be to, not just securing the bag, but making the connections and the networks that you've made to lead to your success?
I think the best thing I ever did was just do whatever I want and not really try to. I think a lot of times when we get in these professions, we feel like we have to assimilate to the majority. We have to kind of carry on that persona and everything. We can't, be a little ratchet, have a lot of fun.
Right.
But the thing is, I mixed it too. Like
Yeah.
I went to the club this other night, and then they put me on. They're like, "Oh, Jessica, whatever." Before I left, I had secured a client. Like I go to these events and have fun,
Yep.
be out there, dancing and carrying on with my friends and my girlfriend and everything. And before I leave, I have clients, I have new connections and everything
Right.
else. So I kind of blur the two.
Right.
And also like the clients that I have, I meet them through social media for the most part, and they like seeing that like I have fun. And then I
Right.
also post my results. So like, okay, you could do
Right.
both, you could do both or whatever. And so I think just kind of being yourself helps out the most. Like,
Absolutely.
so I think that's the most important thing is just, being true to yourself, because obviously doing that, you may encounter some people that don't like you because
Right.
they, you're just doing things how you want to do and you're not fitting into the mold.
Right.
But you're going to find a lot of people, I think, that love you. And as far as making connections, I think just being outside, you know, meeting people and just being a genuinely good person, you know. So I think doing that and volunteering for different things. Like the other day, my friend asked me to get on this graduation thing for her girls that she mentors. And I get on there and I'm staring at Angela Yee and I'm like, I didn't even know Angela Yee was going to be on, you know. So just like, you know, doing these different volunteer things or whatever it is, you don't know who you're going to meet or who you're going to come across and what connection may lead to another connection.
Absolutely. Okay, awesome. That's dope. That's dope.
real.
So, Sharice, I know that you shared with everyone you're in engineering, you're in project management. You finished your degree, moved out here to Georgia, did all of this. You purchased your home, which I've been to, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
All of this in the city, too, because, you know, people get excited in Atlanta. Oh, I purchased this mansion.
Dang,
Sis, you
calling
live
them out.
40 minutes out of the
Calling them out.
city. Sis got a nice crib in the city, okay?
God's
Calling
been
them.
good. God's been really good to me.
Girl is calling them out.
I know, just a little bit. I mean, I live out the city. But I mean, I kind of don't live here, too. But I do live
Yeah,
out
you
the
do
city.
barely hear, but
I know, right? But yeah, so did all of this before the age of 26. So
Yes.
tell us about just how can women who want to be like you, want to be an engineer, they want to do what boys do and wear their eyebrows and keep their face beat and be feminine. Like, what would your advice be to them? And kind of walk us through like how you managed to achieve the success you've achieved at the age you are.
I think it's the same thematic nature of what she's saying, just creating my own path. So I guess the backstory is that I went to college in the Virgin Islands.
Okay.
People don't believe that I started back in the Caribbean. Like,
Wow.
my thing was that I knew the life I wanted to live, and I knew that doing it for other people wasn't going to get me what I wanted. I wanted to leave undergrad with, you know, not too much debt, knowing who I am, building myself up in a positive way. And so staying home, I was able to do that. And even if I was home, again, not following the generic whatevers, I was traveling. I was always first class head to NSB or one of these conferences. I was always doing research in New York and America. I was always gone someplace. Like, there was no rationale behind, because I'm from the Caribbean, I shouldn't still see the world. So I first started by breaking that mold and just doing what I wanted to do there.
Right.
I'm not a fan of like creating this whole picturesque image. I failed so many times, but it was being willing to fail that got me to the next level.
Right.
Like, I remember applying to engineering school because we have a 3-2 engineering program back home, and I didn't get accepted. There was no reason. Like, I had the grades, I had whatever. Those who were doing less than I was made it, and I didn't. I was like, God, why me?
Yeah.
But then I figured, you know what? It's not going to stop me from getting what I still knew I wanted. That doctor in front of my name.
Right. Yeah.
So I found a new route, right? Like, I was like, oh, there are a million schools. I applied to schools in the States, and I decided on USF in Tampa, Florida. And when I got there, I met so much racism and sexism, and I was literally told, you're a Black female. We don't really see your type being successful. And that's the only reason I got as to why I wasn't accepted to the doctoral program at University of South Florida.
Wow.
Dang, I went on file with that one. And I was like, you know, that's okay. You know, you can tell me what you want to tell me, but I know I also don't want to be broke.
Right.
So I worked from my master's all the way through. I was a project manager at Gerdau, was a steel company in Florida, got my master's while I did that. They told me no, God told me yes somewhere else. I went to Texas Tech University.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Again, I don't want to be broke. So I started at Ford Motor Company. And so I had the degree and I hustled, y'all. Like, I would get to the plant at 5 a.m. I would do the first shift, pull off what they had to get done, take my lunch break, go write half a paper, come back into work, finish it up, go home, take a nap, and repeat the process.
Right. So you were working on your PhD and working at Ford
As a full-time engineer, yes.
as a full-time engineer.
Full-time engineer, yes.
Did you have a life?
Since I still got out. I remember being, oh my God.
You must have like just been all work.
No, you're going to laugh though. I remember being on a train from London to Cambridge, typing a paper on my phone. I remember being in the BVI in Tortola on the side of the road, logged on to catch Wi-Fi at a nearby restaurant to do my research meeting.
Okay. So you created that balance.
I was the queen of finesse because I just felt like, I mean, you guys might have felt it too, right? I felt like I gave up so much in the process, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you felt friends who were getting married, who were dating, who were traveling, and you still weren't doing half of what they were doing.
Right.
But then it all came to fruition when I hit that rate. And it's funny enough that my graduation date was actually 25. and I felt like a failure because I took an extra year.
Wow.
And-
25 with a
Yeah.
doctorate, girl? No.
I had 2 masters at 22.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so when I got done, I was like, dang, so what do I do next?
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to create my own life again. I was like, you know what? I want something different for myself. It's always being able to say, I want something different. I was
Right,
tired of
right.
being in Michigan. I was tired of having
Wow,
a
you
job.
just called my city out. Okay. I mean, my state out.
Just from
Okay.
Detroit.
Right. I love you to some extent.
Wait, what part of Michigan?
I was in Farmington Hills, but 35 minutes from downtown. I just didn't want to live in downtown, but I was in the area because I worked in Livonia. So I found a midpoint. But I was tired of being out there because it was cold. And I was like, my family is so far. And so I was like, you know what? I'm between Georgia. And that's when you start saying no to whatever doesn't serve you again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, a job isn't just a job. And so I had networking. I went to NSB, I was just like chilling. And
Wait, Nesby?
National Society of Black Engineers.
Okay.
Yeah.
For those who
Don't know. Yeah. So I'm a big advocate for Blacks. I will forever advocate for females, Blacks, Caribbeans. So I recruit at NSB as well.
Okay.
And so I
That's
had
dope.
gone there, and my guy was like, "Why are you not at Delta?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Why are you not at Delta?"
Delta Airlines.
Delta Airlines, yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, "You come to Delta Airlines," and that's how it really happened. He was like, and even with Ford, I'm not. I didn't apply to Ford. They're like, why don't you apply to Ford? Because when you second guess yourself, someone else might see your potential.
Right,
And
right.
so that's how I found opportunity, just networking and then being open to whatever people brought my way.
Was it a big transition to go from like a motor company to an airline? It was. Okay.
It's a whole different world, a whole different language.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
and I'm faced with those who have been there their whole lives. Like people
Right.
do not quit Delta.
Yeah.
So my boss has been for like 41 years.
Wow.
Since he was 19, he was cleaning planes.
Wow.
So,
and then he
like-
moved his way up.
Yes, I'm
Oh.
one of the first time few to come from outside, and
Okay.
they never let you forget it. Like, how'd you bridge the barrier? But
Yeah.
I think it was just always for me taking the opportunity, not saying no, and taking advice from other people. Like, you see the way someone else did it, and you say, well, how can I do the same thing, but my way?
Mm-hmm.
And so that helped me to navigate things a lot differently, like saying no, trying
Right.
again, crying a little bit, hustling
Yeah.
a little harder.
Right, right.
And not being afraid to learn every day, because if you were afraid to learn, you wouldn't bridge industries. You wouldn't change where you are,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Now you got those good flight benefits.
Girl, the
All right.
benefits.
Girl, let me get on that buddy pad.
I'm sorry for this pandemic to be like a travel. I go home for like $1. I love it.
$1?
Taxes to the Virgin Islands. sis.
Dang. It's a direct flight
Yeah.
to Dominica.
No, I go to Virgin Islands most.
Oh,
My family's
Virgin
in-
Islands.
Yes.
Okay,
I
okay.
went to, I'm in St. Croix this weekend.
St. Croix? How much that flight was? 50 cents?
The
It
flight
was
to Tokyo
free?
is like $40. It's
To
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Tokyo right
yeah.
now?
on their,
I
on
remember
their
when the
thing.
pandemic
With the flight benefits,
first
yeah.
happened. The flights to Japan were like...
No, I'm talking about on the Delta.
The flight benefits,
The flight
yeah.
benefits.
Oh,
$40.
how you know?
Don't worry about it.
I did peep the
Hold on,
game.
Jess.
I did peep the game.
I
I
don't,
just,
So
I don't
everybody
have,
got-
I don't have a pass.
By the next time I do
you're
this
coming to
show...
Companion?
No, I don't. I need one.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Where we
Anybody have
going?
any for sale? I know y'all not supposed to be doing that, but hit my
Hit
DMs.
Jess up. She don't play too. She'll. If we see Jess out of town every month now, we know that
She got plugged.
Got plugged in on
Nah,
the
I
Delta
just be
buddy
wasting
pack.
money left and right.
Oh God.
but you know what, y'all? Like, we only be young ones.
That's my
Like,
thought.
at some point,
That's true.
Oh.
So I am 30. I just made 30 this year.
Dang, so y'all calling people out already?
I mean.
Okay.
I mean, we're here though. It's okay.
All right, so I just turned 31 2 days ago.
yesterday. Oh, 2 days.
days ago.
Okay, 2 days ago. Scorpio.
28 in September.
28.
Y'all so
oh,
young.
baby over here.
Don't be doing
You, and you said you just turned 30?
I just started in June.
Oh,
I'm still trying to hold on to like just.
29.
Just hold on to
I'm gonna
it.
be like
Hold on to
31. I'm gonna be like a day from 31 saying I just turned 30. I'm trying to hold on.
So I guess, is there a feeling of like aging? Because I stop feeling it. I just feel like it's where you are, how you feel, and I'm gonna still be a boss at 45, 50. So
Mhm. I mean, I don't. From 28 to 30, I didn't feel like a major difference. I just know at 28, but at 28, I just moved to Manhattan. I had just secured my postdoc. So I was like, I'm about to
Invincible.
I felt invincible. And now at 30, I made 30 and my friend celebrated my birthday virtually at home at my mom's house. So like,
it don't feel like how you wanted it to feel.
I mean, but it's cool. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so funny because you just never know what life throws at
Girl,
you.
yes.
So from 28 to moving to the Manhattan and about to conquer my dreams to 30, being at my mom's house in Georgia.
No,
It's it's just interesting how life throws different things at you. And of course, it's due to the pandemic, but
it's still life. Because,
yeah.
I mean, remember I just got in here in January. And so, just assimilating and getting comfortable. I didn't feel at home till like March. And then the pandemic hit the day after my family left.
Oh, wow.
So, like, I remember meeting you through that Don't Rush challenge. I was like, oh, she's cool.
Yeah.
I heard she's great. And we just met up. That's really what happened.
Right. That's
because
just meet all her friends too.
Yeah, because I hadn't met anyone yet. Oh, when'd you get here?
I just got here in October, but I've been coming to Atlanta for like so many years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I meet everybody on Instagram or like Twitter.
She got no shame.
Just
to be like, oh, I met you through Instagram. We were at her dinner table. She was like, Instagram a year ago, Instagram a week ago, Instagram 20 hours ago. Like everybody's.
And then this is the girls be having the nerve to be like, so you're meeting random girls on Instagram. I'm like, sis, I met you on Instagram.
Calm down.
Don't even worry about it. That's where we met. But I'm different. No, y'all.
They
but no,
want to feel
honestly,
special.
Yes.
Like I moved so much that I'm like, y'all know I have a little system now. Because I left home at 16. I went to college in St. Thomas, different islands, so still new. I moved to America at 20, couldn't even drink yet. Was in Florida. And then Michigan 22, then Atlanta 26. It's like, it just happened so fast that like if it's not, oh, she's my sorority sister. I met her on IG. We gonna still meet up?
Yeah. What's your sorority?
Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. We're in the White Houses.
I have been around in the AKA since that. I said, watch how they're gonna be showing out. I said, watch how their lines already be like such and such 57. It's gonna be like such and such 199.
Oh, you petty right now. I'm a tray. We only had 5.
Nah, them lines be long.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's the college you go to, right? So I went to HBCU. We could touch on that a little bit, right?
Right.
And the college experience brings you a different level of, interaction.
Right.
So it's like, you can't say like, oh yeah, Howard, but.
Shout out. So what's your HBCU?
Actually, I went to University of Virgin Islands, St. Thomas campus, the only HBCU outside
in the Caribbean. Did y'all know that?
No.
There's an HBCU in the Caribbean. It's one. And
outside the continental United States, period. Like, we're the only ones.
Wow, that's dope.
See, I didn't even know anything. I'm from Michigan, and we don't have HBCUs up north.
Yeah, not for real.
I didn't even really know because like when I was in college, I went to college, I wasn't an adult either, and so I didn't want to leave and go out the state. So I went to University of Michigan since it was the best school in Michigan. Yeah,
I know them really well. Yeah,
and then for law school, I mean, I just ended up Florida, and then I went back to Florida State when I got the MBA. So I never got to go to HBCU.
Okay, that's what's up.
It's a different experience. Like, honestly, it's scary because people look like you, right? When you turn around, like, we have a thing we call like Caribbean culture. I still have a feeling of being back home. I'm feeling welcome. I'm feeling loved. And you get to America and it feels savage. Like, you feel like, sis, change your game up. You can't trust, but still,
Yeah.
And you seek those environments, right? Like, a HBCU is that feel of just home, your auntie, your uncle, the food tastes like how you used to it tasting.
Yeah.
And then I went to a PWI for my master's, and it was like having to find the pockets
Right.
that felt like home. So you see different cultures depending on where you are, but it could spoil you because leaving at HBCU and going to corporate America, baby,
totally
you
different.
grasp onto the last feeling you could have. Like, I remember entering my first office and thinking like, and it was funny because when I moved in, when I started my first day at work, I had a bracelet on for AKA, and there was this Delta to this day. One of my girls, she had something on her body, and she was like, "Oh my God, hey there."
She was like, "Hey," like on Get Out. I was like on Get Out.
She was like, I know you're blackity black.
Right.
I can talk to you. Oh, we've been really tight friends
that's
since.
funny.
That's what's up.
You grasp onto it when you find it.
I feel the same way. Even me, like I went to two-time HBCU graduate, and then my first job postdoc was in New York working for one of the largest marketing and advertising companies in the world, where I was not just the only Black person in the office, but I was the only Black doctor on the team. So it's just interesting traveling into these places.
So what's the biggest thing you faced? Because I feel like for me, it was always like, I felt like an outsider. Like I had to press my hair and don't wear the nails. And
See, I did the exact opposite.
Hey, what you did, Jess?
So I used to turn up to the state attorney's office. So I wouldn't turn up with anything crazy, but like I would wear my like long quoted justice braids. I would wear my real hair as it falls. And then they want to go, your hair smells like, what is it like?
Shea butter.
Yeah, like your hair
Hopes
smells
and
like
dreams.
whatever. Like I'm like, Sydney, like, stop touching me. Like, but then they would just like do this sometimes, like start touching my
So
hair.
your hair,
Yeah,
when it was in the bush.
when it was like, yeah, like when it was like down curly or whatever. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know where your hands have been.
Don't touch
and I don't
me.
want you touching me without my permission.
Right.
I would like, there's a song by Plies called 100 Years about like just like over sentencing people.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like every day this was like my on the
On your
as
way
I
to
was
work
pulling
song.
up song, and I would be in the parking lot just blasting. Like I used to be in my office playing like Ratchet Pandoras. Like, don't come, you can't hear it from outside my office, so don't come in here if you have an issue with this.
Right.
Like, I just
And you
like,
just told them, like, if you got an issue with this, like, don't come
yeah,
in.
and one time this dude, I had I think they're called Senegalese. I think that's what it was.
Senegalese Swiss.
Yeah, and he was like, it was like a old like former prosecutor, now defense attorney. He called me when he was talking about an offer or something. He was like, "Yeah, I'm so happy that they let you wear your hair like that." I said, "Excuse me,
He said,
Let
"I'm happy
me?
they let your hair like
Let
no,
me,
they let me." I said,
or-
"Excuse me, sir. I am a grown up. I don't know anybody has to let me wear my hair some way. When they wear their hair in the same style every day, I don't complain. If I want to wear my hair in a protective style, that's what I'm gonna do. Just that."
Right.
So he was just like, "Oh no, I don't mean anything by it. I'm just saying that's nice because back when I was a prosecutor in the '90s, they wouldn't let you do that." I'm like, okay, well, they could fire me then if they think something like that.
Yeah.
But I was, it was just funny to me that he thought that he was saying something positive by saying that.
Right.
And it's
So
funny
you,
'cause, like, I'm listening. Oh, sorry to cut you off. I was
so you're
listening to
doing
her.
prosecuting, and now you're in personal injury.
Right.
So why'd you make the switch?
A few reasons.
Okay.
For one is when you work for the state, it's like I like to buy stuff and go places.
Oh,
And like you just can't do that working for the state.
Because of the salary.
They don't pay you anything.
Okay.
And then
Really?
two, like I just felt like I couldn't do certain things or post certain stuff because it's like, we're prosecuting people.
Right.
So like we have to, it's like not to the level of a judge, but it's in between like lawyer, like regular attorney, like private lawyer and a judge. So you kind of have to be more, you kind of got to be a little bit more chill with your image because at the end of the day, like I've had even multiple times like defendants will find me online and like be DMing me like, oh, if they could take me out or something. I'm like, boy, I am prosecuting you. Like, please.
And I don't even like y'all.
No, but I was dating boys at the time. But it's just like
okay.
the fact of the matter, you're in my DMs and I'm prosecuting you, or like it's just like weird. So I, just trying to be a little bit more conservative, or like obviously I post a lot about the Black issues and police brutality, and that I didn't think was a thing I should post when I was working there because it's not that we're like cops, but we're kind of like law enforcement working as a state attorney's office, and we're kind of like together a little bit. Right. So I just felt like it wouldn't look good for me to be law enforcement and then posting against law enforcement.
Right, absolutely.
And no one came and told me like, hey, you can't post that. But I just kind of knew it's like better than to like come in the house, smoking weed or something in front of your mom. Like it's like that type of thing. Like I just knew you just know you shouldn't. Like your mom didn't have to tell you, hey, don't come in here doing this or that. But
come in here snorting coke, boy.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't really like that because I like to do whatever I want, and I didn't feel like that was the space.
Right.
Beyond that, like kind of like what you said, we prosecuted majority Black defendants, and there was like at most at any given time 3 Black attorneys out of like the 6 counties that was represented, and 3 of them were 3 out of like the 45, 50 attorneys were Black, including myself. So I didn't really like the lack of representation, and also I didn't really like my paycheck because like that's like my paycheck for the month was like my Linux money now.
Okay, come on.
On a Tuesday.
Dang.
So it's like I just couldn't be bothered anymore with that.
Right.
And I want to like work on my Black firm, so that just wasn't really,
her goal. Her
Yeah.
goal. Largest Black firm in the nation, y'all.
That's
Remember
coming.
that.
It's coming.
Remember that. So you guys are both pretty open and honest and transparent on the gram. Sharice, I know that you've dealt with cystic acne. Do you want to talk about like, because sis, you be putting it all out there. So like,
dang, she's coming for the business.
Like honestly, when I was like, we're gonna talk about that today. I'm guessing we're gonna talk about that today.
Yes.
And the problem is me and you didn't read the questions. So
See, I sent them questions.
We rolled up and just trusting her and just trusting God.
I sent them questions.
So you told me you have
should have a
AIDS. Let's
whole-
discuss that.
Like wouldn't the guy that you were talking to that's not no, like so it goes back to this whole feeling of sacrificing, right?
Right.
Let's not pretend that getting to where we are doesn't come without its own challenges.
Right.
The stress is crazy. Just giving up your own personal time is crazy. Giving up your workout time, your family time, your peace of mind, like you lose it all, right?
Right. And like you mentioned, you at a certain point, it was working at Ford and working on that PhD.
And they still want you to pretend to have a life and still date and still have fun. So I think it honestly, girl, I wouldn't even be wearing this dress, and the old shoes wouldn't be wearing this dress right now. It took over my
Okay.
entire body.
So how
and-
did you get it under control?
Yeah, because the
Was
skin
it
is
just-
looking good.
Yeah, no, her skin is glowing. So like, was it just because of, you know, you being less stressed? Now you're in a job, you're not juggling a job and a doctorate degree. Like, I know you have like a dermatologist in the city. I've been seeing you shout her out. So like, tell us about like how you went from the Sharice who, you know, wouldn't wear a dress like that to like the Sharice that's like out here flowing.
Well, let me make the tie back to like the question you asked her, right? So
Mhm.
career changes.
Hmm.
I decided I want to live a certain type of life and feel and look a certain type of way, right? So I started to claim the things that I ignored for the past 10 years while I chased the bag. Because chasing the bag is a disease in
It's-
itself. It can be very hard depending on what it is, right?
Right.
And so that was my sacrifice. And so I was like, you know what? How can I change careers to give myself a chance to have more of a personal life?
Right.
That's where my career change came from. But when the pandemic happened, it just shut me all the way down. Like, I thank God for that pandemic, because I think there's so many things we just kind of got used to living with. And it left less space for self-evaluation. Like, when you're up at 4 a.m. to get to work by 5:36 and you're in that traffic and you're coming back home and you eating takeout and you're just not having time for yourself.
Right.
You're at work ripping and running and not realizing that you don't have it in you anymore, right?
Right.
So when I got to stay home, I was like, well, self, like the whole talking to myself motion. I was like, what would you change if you could change it right now? And so it was my skin.
And when was this? How long ago? Like, what was the month? Was it March? Like, as soon as the pandemic happened?
And like April. And like April,
April.
I caught myself since I was
Okay.
still home at that point.
Mhm.
And I was at like 175 pounds. My skin had broken out. Girl, I just was like, okay, let's start this. And for once, actually, I paid attention to myself. And I have a dermatologist, but I believe in saving coins. I was like, well, what can I do?
Well, I think she was an esthetician.
Esthetician, yeah. So, but I love her. Like, it's called the Atlanta Esthetician, and she's amazing.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
because she's it. Like,
Yeah.
once she takes her time, and she's okay, sis, where are you at today? How do you feel? But she let me try my own things, which I loved. Like, I felt like
Right.
dermatologists in the past and doctors and so would tell you, this is what you do. But you don't know my life. Like, I'm
Right.
still having panic attacks from school. I'm still not sleeping at night because I'm tired.
Right.
So when I got like, you know, a hold of the things that I let go of, like sleeping, drinking my water,
Okay,
being
so
more aware,
back to the basics, really.
relaxing, like
Right.
taking care of yourself. Because
Right.
I think we take care of everyone else, we take care of our careers, but we avoid our mental. When my mental got checked, you know, everything else started to flow, and I saw a difference in my skin, and I love it because now I'm more aware of myself. You know,
Right.
like it's like the fact that you avoid, I don't know, a breakout because of this, because you missed it in the flow of just like living your life and being everything and into everyone.
Right.
And so once I learned my self-care and I
Okay.
just dialed back, it was the best move. I
So really
think.
was just taking a step back, not letting all of the external world stress you out and get the best of you, and listening to your body,
yeah,
giving yourself water, just taking things easy.
yeah,
Wow. Okay. And you said you were dealing with it since as long as you can remember.
my whole life. Like
So is this like the first time you would say that you actually was able to slow down?
I've been in
ever?
school, I've been in college for 10 years.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
Our
And
producer
I've
over there
worked-
like, he did half a semester
I
and
think
was
I
like,
worked my entire time
please.
through college, from undergrad. Like I remember having like 3-4 jobs at one point. I mean, I grew up in a single parent household. So it's like for me, working was always important.
Right.
Grinding was always important. Breaking generational curses was always important to me.
Okay, sis. Yes.
And so like this is my first time in my life that I got to just sit here and not be
right.
like not with a nigga who's stressing me out.
Ooh, we
Not
gonna
with-
get to that.
Not with a
We
nigga
gonna
who's
get
stressing me
to
out.
that.
Not with a career that's bothering me. I was like, I'm
Right.
making choices for me right now. And if
Okay.
it doesn't serve me,
Right.
snip, snip, bitch, just snip, snip.
Yes.
Okay, for real. We're gonna get to that for sure. But I just wanted to touch on one other thing with Jess. So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
just did anniversary for Lawyer Bays.
Yes.
So tell us about that. That is your organization, your business. Nothing to do with any law firms. It's all you, right? You and your partner.
Myself and my partner. yes.
Okay, tell us about it.
So I started when was that? 20.
I
think
think
it was
your
20
second year anniversary. So
Yeah,
2018,
no,
right?
I started in 2017.
Okay.
But then we started like actually like with like the website and like doing more of that type of stuff
Okay.
in 2018 in April.
Okay.
It was just that obviously it got delayed. Our anniversary party got delayed because of COVID. So then that's why I call it. It's like a belated.
Okay.
Yeah. Really, I will not take the credit for putting that event together. My partner, she told me initially we're doing a dinner.
Yes.
And she like was like, it's your birthday. I'm going to fly you out, get us a room in Beverly Hills, whatever. You don't have to do nothing. Just show up. I was like, okay. Then I guess because of COVID and we had like 25, 26 people, all the restaurants in LA is a lot more strict than Atlanta. Because, you know, I just did my dinner yesterday or 2 days ago. They don't care in Atlanta. LA, they're like, actually, we're canceling. Like, she got canceled by multiple people. She tried like a couple other spots. They canceled her. So she finally found like this estate where she could do it like in the backyard in their garden area. Okay. So she ended up taking it outside. And so it made it a lot more expensive because she had to hire a bartender. She had to hire servers. She had to get the tables. She had like, cause they just had like, it was like a nice waterfall and you know, everything else, but it wasn't set up.
Now I want to see.
I got you. I'm going to show it to you.
Yeah.
But it wasn't set up for a dinner. So she had to bring everything there.
She had to make a dinner in the backyard.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was a lot more like when she picked me up from the airport, I'm like, what is all this alcohol? What is this all in your car right now? She's like, oh, it's outside. It's in a garden. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't know anything about that.
So you were totally surprised. You thought you were going to LA to celebrate your birthday.
It was like a wedding. It was like I call it like the Lawyer Bay wedding or something because it was like that type of thing. And it was basically like a bunch of lawyers, law students. And then there were some people like this one guy I met. He's super cool. He's on a show on BET. Another one is on a show on like Stars. And there was a couple other people like that were.
So she got the celebs to show up.
Yeah, a couple other people that were like on some TV shows. And then there was an attorney. We decided we wanted to honor a female and a male, but then we just decided we were just going to honor a male. So we honored this attorney. His name is Walter Mosley, and he does. He's Amber Rose's and Black China's attorney. Okay. And he represents a lot of other celebrities as well. So we honored him and gave him, you know, some gifts and everything and had some other
But tell us the purpose. What's the purpose of Lawyer Babe?
Oh, so initially I made the organization I initially started in 2017 and I was just doing posting at the time. And back at the time, I know there's a lot of new pages that have sprouted up since Lawyer Babe.
Counterfeits out there?
No, not counterfeits, but just
similar.
They're just inspired or whatever it is. But initially there was a page called Rizzo Doctor that was for people that were doctors. Yeah, they were already, they had their page already. But that was the only page I was even somewhat similar of like doing the type of postings and things like that. So I was like, you know what, I'm getting tired of like people always got something to say about my page. They always got something to say because like I like to dress how I like to dress and I'm a lawyer. So I'm like, you know, I'm gonna make a page and just show everyone like there's all these other lawyers that do the same thing. Like so y'all could really
it was like a mini burner page.
Not that. It was just more so like I just wanted.
I'm out here looking sexy and fly, and all these other lawyers on my timeline.
We're gonna show y'all today.
Yeah, it was like I just want people to feel more comfortable with themselves because people feel like they had to be so conservative. So I was like, you know, let me show them like there's a lot of people that are fine. You know, it's not just you. Like let's just be out here in these streets and maybe change the narrative. So I started posting,
and I appreciate that. That's one of the reasons why I like your page too, and why I was like, oh, I like her because. Even me, I get the same thing. Like people be like, "Well, why do you dress like that?" Or
you do what you want when you pop in.
Okay,
you do what you want.
I wish we had like a little DJ to, you know,
do what you want when you got
it. Right. Okay. All right. So
I just wanted to show them that at first. That was like my only like thing. Like I wasn't like doing it with like real like big intentions. I was just like, hey, I just want to show people this. Like I feel like a lot of people, not just myself, kind of get like backlash for it. Yeah. And I've been getting backlash since I was in high school. Like I've been having like some people like have issues with me for how I
was about to cry.
No.
All right, so that looked like tear coming.
No, being outside last night, I feel like it was just cold. We were doing a lot of standing outside for the little party, and then I went out again. And anyway,
and you be out in the streets and you don't drink alcohol.
I know.
Y'all, she has been drinking water for like 8 years.
This is water
now.
too. I be flexing like I'm drinking. People
I don't know why she walked in with this red cup. This girl hasn't.
She was sipping, sis.
She hasn't consumed anything but water.
Years.
Not even
I'm
juice.
nosy. What stopped you?
No. I stopped drinking that in 2014.
You stopped drinking juice.
I stopped drinking everything but water in 2014.
Wow.
Girl.
Dang.
Because I chipped my tooth and had to get a root canal and a crown, and I was like, you know what? I felt like I drank too much sugar, so I'm gonna stop.
Wow.
Because I'm like, it's
all
really,
because of that.
Yeah, that was and I was just drinking so much of it. I
just think you're an extreme person, Jess.
I am. I cut things off. Like I can't. People are like, you could just do a little bit. I'm like, no, I either overindulge or I just don't do it at all.
Teach me.
Okay. On the topic of that,
I know what you about to do.
On the topic of cutting everybody off and overindulging, let's talk about dating and our love life and all of that fun stuff. So, You cut ninjas off. That's my keyword
They
for,
cut
for men.
themselves off. Really.
Men have cut themselves off. So you've been in a committed relationship with your girlfriend for 3 years now.
Yes, on the 8th.
They're so cute, y'all. Like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that picture. You posted it. It was like you was dancing and she was holding your hand. It was so cute. You gotta show Cherise.
Like, I want that.
They're so cute.
Let me just follow you while I'm here. Keep talking, guys.
Wait, someone come on for the dinner?
Yeah, it was at the dinner last night. So while you're looking for that, tell us about that. So you said you used to date men. I wish we could show it in the camera. You gonna put what? Oh, okay. So look, that's them.
Oh, that is so cute.
I wish I could show the screen. I can't.
They can't really.
Yeah, but so talk to us about that. So when did you decide to like totally stop dating men? Because you mentioned a little while ago you was still dating guys when they were sliding in your DMs about when you were their prosecutor. So when did you was like, all right?
I think I was in a relationship at that time. No, but I was dating a guy.
Okay. So let's talk about that. So what was the straw that broke the camel's back?
It's just been a lot of straws that's been breaking my back for years of like being over them. But I think the main thing that guys I liked is that like, you know, I like to have fun. I like to go on trips. I like just like free stuff. I like people, you know, so it's like, okay, like, you know, that's nice. Like all y'all do is just like buy stuff and just lie. That's all y'all do. And get on my nerves and try to tell me what to do.
Dang.
It's not real relatable.
Yeah. So it's like, but then like, I think the issue too is
so
like,
you haven't had any healthy relationship.
it's not that. I'm not saying that. It's just like, at the same time, not just even myself, just looking at my friends' situations, even on TV, even anywhere. It's like the type of guys I like to date. When I dated guys, we're making a lot of money, always had like degrees or whatever else it was. So then I just felt like it's kind of like weird because like we might have the same profession, like we may both be lawyers, and they'll be like so holier than thou because they're like, do you know how many black males are not in prison and have a law degree? And this, I'm like, sir, first of all, I graduated younger than you. I went to a better school than you, or whatever it is. Like, you need to calm down, bring that in my face. Like, because I don't like that type of stuff. Because I don't throw like I'm a lawyer in people's face. I don't like when like someone's trying to like make me feel like I should like kiss up to them because they have like the same or similar type of career. Because like all of us that are in like law, medicine, engineer, whatever, it's like the same type of like thing. So like we cross date or whatever. So like don't be like, oh, I'm a guy and I should be in prison, but I'm not. So like grovel at my feet. Like I don't like that.
So, and long story short, you kind of feel like a lot of men that you like to date, which are men with status, the same status as you or equivalent, they feel entitled. They feel like they should have a woman like you, or was that what I'm
or
getting
women
at? Or women, like plural.
And also, I like to do what I want, and I don't like to be like, oh, just getting a lot of questions behind it. Like, I like, for example, I get my clients through social media, so I got to communicate with people. I put my work number all over the place, my work cell phone number. People can get in contact with me, whatever it is. I go to networking events, I go to lunches, whatever it is. My girlfriend, I just tell her, oh, I'm about to go eat with this guy. She'd be like, okay, cool, babe, see you later. Give me some blah, 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 while you out. Like, let me text me the menu. Text me the window. Yeah, that's her favorite. Text me the menu so I can see if I want something. Like, she don't be doing all that weird stuff. Like, but dudes, it's like, they have their male ego is just so fragile. So like, if you tell them like you might be going out with some muscle bound dude,
I want to hear what you think. I want to hear what the male in here thinks. All right.
You might be trying to go out with some muscle bound dude, whatever. You might be, oh, you're not going out to eat with some muscle bound dude, whatever it is.
Muscle bound dude.
That's real. That's real.
Like one dude told me one time, like I guess like when I was in back when I was in undergrad, the guy was saying he's like feeling some type of way because like I'm on campus. He's like, you over there hanging out with all these muscle bound football players and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just going to class, like just trying to get my degree. Like, there's barely any black people at the University of Michigan. Like
there's none.
There's like literally all the black guys are on the football team, the basketball team, a few engineers, and a few that stomp the yard. That's it. There's no others. So there's like 20 of them total. But yeah, they just started irritating me more and more. And then at a point, like before I started dating my girlfriend, the end of 2017, I started kind of, you know, casually like dating both at the same time. And I was like, I was realizing like with the guys, I'm like, y'all are taking me to nice fancy places and I'm sitting here like you're very irritating to me. And then the girls, I'm over here just chilling with them, like doing basic stuff. Like might even have pay for my own stuff. Might even just be like, oh, you could chill at the crib, like whatever. And I'm like having a way better time. I'm like, yeah, I don't like y'all. I just like y'all to buy me stuff, and like that's it. And now I have more money, so I'm like, I don't even need you to buy me stuff.
Right.
So I'd rather just not be bothered at all.
Plateau.
So I'm like, yeah, I just can't be bothered with that. So I think it was just that. I'm like, your main purpose has like run its course in my life.
Ooh, ouch.
And girls are just like so much, like they're so much prettier and everything. Like
Girls are pretty.
they just actually
we are. We are
they
like
just actually have feelings. Like guys, I feel like men like it's to get a guy to be faithful and to act right is going against nature. Like if you think about it, it's like
That
their
is so
nature
real.
is to spread their seed and multiply, and they can do that for so many years past when you can, and they can knock 10 girls up at the same time, and that's like they don't have to carry the child. Whereas our nature is to have kids and take care of those kids and be nurturing. So like even if a girl wants to put on tomboy clothes, it's like my girlfriend, she wants to be a stud or whatever. It's like you're still a pretty princess. Like I don't care about that. Whereas dudes, it's like their nature is it's going against their nature to be monogamous and to be in a committed relationship. It's like barely any monogamous mammalian species that are monogamous, like except for some like birds or whatever. It's like, so you want these dudes to be like lions. Like you look at them, that the same lion has all the chicks. Like they have all the chicks.
all the
like,
lionesses.
Yeah,
Or
the alpha male
lioness.
has all the chicks. The beta male just waiting for the residual chicks to fall off and
Residual.
hope he can get some. Like
She said
that-
the alpha male got
and
all
that's-
the chicks,
that's
and the
the same
beta
thing with
male is
humans.
waiting for
That's
them
the-
to
But
fall off.
but she's right though. Like I hate to
it's against
be
nature.
too.
And
like,
you're
you know,
heterosexual, right?
Yeah, so I love guys, but I can relate so much because I feel like there are two categories right now. When I find ones I really like because like they chill, it's not always money oriented. Clearly making a lot less than me.
Yeah, but it's the broke ones. They'll get cuffed.
Yeah,
you know?
they
The
really
ones
easy
that's
to
on the
get
same
caught.
thing as you, they like
Yeah,
The ones that are, like,
that
when I
is
first got
true.
to
I can
Atlanta-
say from experience too.
I felt like I was being trophied. Like I had the guys who were in my pay grade that took me out.
Yeah.
They had a whole script. Oh yeah, she's a doctor, and yes, she works here. And I was like, oh, that's why you like me. Like I literally had a guy tell
Fit
me
the bill. It's
he
like
was
your trophy.
Yeah, he was like, our joint income to be amazing. I had a guy tell me this when I was like starting my career out. And so it's so hard to date because I feel like I have to lie when I meet someone to have them treat me normally and to put in the effort versus saying like, this is where I work, this is what I do. And I actually feel like guys who know where I work and know what I do, they either run or they try acting sideways.
They run. Now you say they run. What do you mean by run?
I literally find guys who will not talk to me when they know what I do because I think their ego is
intimidated?
stripped. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I mentioned, I have a house, right? I don't tell guys that. So I won't say like, I have a house. I won't say what I make. I won't say what I drive. I hide the whole shit because that's the only way they can talk to me normally.
Right.
And I hate that shit, but it's just what it is.
Yeah.
And those that weren't, like you mentioned, that are in my pay grade are like, well, you have to remember I'm a black man who isn't in jail and I don't have any kids. So they act like an ass.
Like I don't have any kids either, sir. What's your point? I got good credit too. What's your point?
Right.
It's interesting. I remember there was a black lawyer on Instagram who got so much backlash because he posted like, I'm not
I
in
know what you're
prison.
talking about. I know what you're talking about.
I'm out here like I'm ready, I'm ready for my
But the way he
prize
wrote
because I'm
it-
a prize.
The way he wrote it,
was
so I don't remember the exact verbiage, but it
I
was
don't
kind of like
remember,
people
but-
like had an issue because they felt like it was like kind of like putting black women
Yeah,
down. It was like
yeah.
a little bit off-putting because of that.
It
It wasn't like
was.
just bigging himself up. It was like simultaneously putting down
Right.
women.
And it's so funny
Right.
because
That's
on
the
our
issue.
last episode, we kind of talked about that. We talked about like how men should approach women.
But I haven't dated in years.
You haven't dated in years?
No, like it's usually the same. Like you see me out, we get some drinks, you try Netflix and chill. Maybe it might go on for like a couple of months. But to have like intention, I find that
Yeah.
most black guys who are also successful aren't ready. I've had guys actually tell me that when they're ready, it just happens. When they're ready, the person who they meet,
Yeah.
they're willing to get to know them. But like to actually say, what color are my eyes? Like what do I like?
Right.
They
right.
can't tell you.
Right.
I've been, yeah.
But wait, let's touch on this. You haven't dated in years.
Yeah, that's
You've
why.
been in Atlanta for 2 years.
A year.
You gotta be
yeah,
careful
exactly.
anyway,
Yeah, you gotta be careful out here.
because
You know, I don't mind because I have gay friends. Just give me the option.
No, I mean it's not that
Give me
they're
the
gay.
op-
It's
they
that
be hiding.
they're gay and they're trying to get with you.
Yeah, they
Well,
are,
That's the
yeah.
issue. Like,
Yeah.
And I don't.
They go both ways.
It's
Give
just
me
be
the
honest with it,
choice.
'cause, like, because there's a lot of AIDS here in Atlanta too. Like, not even just like being
Right.
judgmental. It's like I think they said like 1 in 4 gay black men in Atlanta will get HIV sometime in their life. Like, that's not good odds for me. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
hard.
It's the stats are crazy out
It's
here. We
hard.
even touched on that on the last episode too, because I'm in a new relationship and I was like, we need to go get HIV tested before we
Consistently, too, at that. Because y'all be cheating.
I mean,
But
I'm
for
not
real.
cheating. I'm not a cheater.
Not you. I'm talking about dude.
Yeah, I mean, there are, so just to touch back on like what you were saying too, like I've dated the men who have been professional spaces and think they shit don't stink and that
Right.
they just the best thing
Since-
to ever exist. But there are men out there. It's not a lot, and honestly, like I just feel blessed that I came across one, but there are men out there who can have money, can be successful. And
Sis said my man got money and he fine. And he just bought me
Okay.
some Louis yesterday. And Chanel back 2 weeks ago.
Right. So there are men out there like that, and when like me, I've been single for years, for a long time, and I met somebody that I felt was I could be committed to, and he wants to commit to me, and so I'm in it, because that's one thing that is like a total deal breaker for me.
Right.
Infidelity, like what? Just do you, and I'll just do me. Like we don't need to commit. We don't need to act like we committing if that's just
That's
not
what we
what
wanna
it
achieve.
is.
But you know what I feel though? I feel like guys, and I've heard this a number of times.
Mhm.
I'm at the dating type. And I was just like, what does that mean? But see, in their mind, they're thinking, well, you know what? She could raise my kids, but I still want to play around a little bit longer.
Yeah, and
And
there
so
are
I've
men
heard-
like that.
And I've heard that. Like, I've heard that on a number of instances. Like, yeah, if something was to happen, then I know she'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta hurt too, though. Like,
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's just sad. It's a lot of selfish men out there that have degrees like us and look like us. Even me, like I've dated out my race before. Have
I
y'all?
was thinking about that.
No, I'm not an equal opportunity employee. Because you know what? The reason why,
Mm-hmm.
I just think about those movies. Like, I just think about just like graphic videos and stuff where like, I just picture a
Graphic
white
videos.
I just
Where we
think
going
about-
with this, Jess?
I just picture like a white guy saying
The
like,
nighttime videos
something-
when you watch by yourself.
I just picture him saying some like racist something,
Mm.
and like he would have to die at that point. Like I never
Yes.
pull it off because of that reason alone. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just picture something racist, like the word black or white just being thrown in there,
Yes.
and then just feeling triggered from my ancestors.
Triggered.
Right. Right.
Triggered.
I
I
could just
feel
feel all my
you.
ancestors just
Coming for the whole situation.
yeah.
So what happens? Have you been hit on by like a white girl, or like other girls from other races?
girls from other races
Yeah.
more so than
And you
guys.
wouldn't. I mean, you're committed now. I know that, but like, if you weren't, would you?
I don't want to say racist though, so I'm just not gonna say anything.
Okay, no comment. Pass.
Pass.
Yeah.
Pass.
Plead the fifth.
So, what about you? Have you dated outside of your race, or is that something you're open to?
Outside, I've done Hispanic, but it just didn't feel the same. I feel like, to your point, you want chocolate on chocolate. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this, like, I'm still sucker for like 6 Foot Bear Gang. It just does something to me still.
You said chocolate on chocolate.
Yeah, I mean,
But honestly, I'm willing now, because after a while you're like, well, dang, I'm tired of being put to the side because I'm educated and you think I'm great, but you're not ready to.
don't worry, white guys be getting married at 21. They just be cheating a lot.
No, but like even in our race too, is like
Yeah.
They
that's
just be married a
why.
lot. Like I feel like white guys get married so young.
Yeah.
The thing though is like at least black
got
dudes
trust
just-
funds,
They be
though.
just cheating
Right.
a little bit. White dudes be having a whole side family. Like
Yes.
Yes and no. Like
they family be right on the side.
one of my sisters ended up marrying a white guy, and he was Italian.
That's a little
And-
different.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it was more a race thing than like a cultural thing or infidelity thing, that the barriers that they face. I think no matter what,
So
whether
have
it's a
some
man or you go from a man to a woman or race to race, or even just people to people, like you always experience like different challenges.
I just feel
with the
like you
individual.
see somebody get shot, like a black person get shot by a police officer, and you sit there and you might cry and be upset as a black person or as a mother of like a black boy or something. And my husband would turn to look at me and be like, "What's wrong, babe? That's not you don't know him." Then
You
I
feel
might
like
file
that's
for
what it was.
divorce.
Trigger.
Yeah, I
Right.
might file
Then
for
I know
divorce,
that
'cause,
would be
like,
a problem.
Cause like they just don't
Absolutely.
understand,
Yeah.
And so like I just don't want that in my house, like
Right.
necessarily. It's nothing against it. I don't, I'm sure people will like have a great time with that. Just personally,
It's not for
Right.
me.
Even
We
when
have
I
a
was dating
question.
guys or women, I just can't.
Oh God, we got a question.
Who else? Sharice? You know Sharice?
I do. What was she?
Cherie. Cherie said Italian dudes still white. She said sometimes they be the worst ones.
Y'all still white. Y'all food just better seasoned.
No, honestly, so
Oh
okay.
my God.
Touching on the whole racial thing, right? I try to not be racial, but
Yeah.
I'd be feeling the same way sometimes.
Yeah.
Because like it's like, Indians think they're white. Whatever, Chinese think they're, you know what I mean? It's like them and then us. And that's the feeling I hate too. It's like I wouldn't want to even have kids who have to deal with that. Deal with like the confusion of who they are and what they believe in, because I'm gonna have to mask my feelings and the hurt that I grew up with, because we deal with it every day, right?
Yeah.
Mask my feelings to make
But
sure.
I think that's the thing of being in a relationship too, right? Like, it's to unmask. It's to be with a person that you don't have to wear the mask with. Like, you want to love me, this is what I come with. Whether it's race or certain insecurities from certain life situations that you
Right.
had no control over, like, but that's just my opinion. Like, if I'm trying to make something work with you, we unmasking. We unmasking, because how are we gonna grow as a couple in a relationship
Right.
without you knowing who I am and me knowing who you are?
I feel you, sis, but at the same time,
Just what?
I just like a little chocolate. It could be a little milk chocolate, dark chocolate, caramel, something, but
A little,
I just-
a little something in there,
We need a little color,
yeah,
color swirl to add to it.
a little color,
A little
yeah.
color swirl. Okay, all
I
right.
mean, if I can have it my way, I'm gonna probably date in my culture, in my
Okay.
grade, in my everything. Like,
So a Caribbean man.
I
you
tried
can
dating
have it your-
American, and just have never felt fully comfortable. Like,
Really, with an American
No.
It's like they
man.
can't even dance properly.
Oh, when she trying to whine, okay? You trying to whine? They can't catch the waistline.
I mask my accent 3 times. I mask corporately. I mask in the
Why do
African
you
American community,
mask?
and I mask because here's the hard thing being Afro Caribbean, right? Are you Jamaican? And then you have to smile. So it's the next level to it. Like, when there's basic racism, and then there's Caribbean racism, whether you guys are familiar with it or
No,
not.
educate us. Caribbean racism. Educate us.
Yeah, because it's like, first thing that they ask you is, oh, can you make oxtail? Are you Jamaican?
Like, actually,
Oxtail, right. Do you smoke weed? I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And that's what I deal with every new environment I enter into. And because I was raised in the Caribbean, my accent isn't as maskable. I don't have the American version to it just yet. So I am still who I am.
Right.
And whenever I get on anything for work or anything, I had a boss tell me once, oh, you need speech therapy. I was like, why? Because you have an accent.
Where? Never mind. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, up north. And so, like, that triggered me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I've been told different racial Caribbean things. Like, and so for me, it's like I have to turn that off when I leave home, and then turn it off when I go out. It's just, when do I
Have
get
you
to
felt
be?
like that with me? You had
Girl,
to
no,
mask
you,
it.
you got
Okay.
you got me.
Okay, good.
I'm here right now.
All right. I don't want
You
you,
got
feeling
me.
like that
No,
now.
but it's like in the in the corporate world, and
Right.
depending on where you are, people don't take you as you are fully. Like, it's a comical thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the more that I think we're getting open to the world, the more able I am to integrate. When I first came to America, it wasn't the US. It wasn't as easy for me. You know,
Right.
that's the honest to God truth. So that's why I feel like, and for me, even right now, it's like you could say certain things in my culture, and I would laugh 10 times harder.
Yes.
Then when I make a joke, I'm like, well, y'all don't think I'm funny? Like, I think I'm funny. But it's like the same dialogue doesn't always translate.
So have you been able to find your community here in
Not
Atlanta?
really.
Not really? Wow. Okay.
Whole pandemic, so.
Yeah.
But I do have family here, so. Whenever
Okay,
I
so
want
that
to
makes it
feel-
easier. Okay, that's good. So with both of you guys spending time up north and now being in the south, like, what do you say is the biggest change or the biggest adjustment from now living in the south? It doesn't even just have to be
the weather.
Georgia. The weather.
The weather.
Well, I've been down south for 8 years now. Well, I'm
Yeah, you
sorry,
in
9
Jacksonville,
years.
right?
Well, I was in
FSU.
Tallahassee
Okay.
for FSU. Then I went to a city called Ocala for a job when I first graduated. Hated it. Was there for like a year and a couple months. Went back to Tallahassee to prosecute for a few years. Then I went to Jacksonville in the beginning of 2018 and was there until I just moved here a couple months. Well, last month actually.
Okay.
I think the biggest difference is obviously, like she said, the weather. But beyond that, it's a lot more racist down here. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, it's just more blatant. You know,
Yes.
like, I think obviously there's racism up north as well.
Yeah.
But I just think the racism is just a lot more
Visual down here.
Yeah. I mean, I was from the city I'm from is called Dearborn, which is very Arabic.
Dearborn.
Yeah,
very,
and
very,
so
very Arabic.
they're kind of like very racist over there because it's like it was kind of
And
weird.
you're mixed too, right?
Yeah, I'm Armenian and black.
So your mom is Armenian?
Yeah,
Wow. So she was raising mixed babies.
yeah,
in,
5 of them.
5 mixed babies
Yeah.
in a racist city.
Yeah.
So she has probably so many stories.
Yeah, and like the thing was like, it was weird because I went from being like very black and like very aware of the fact that I was black because of like comments and everything when I was living in Dearborn to like I went to my 8th grade year was at a black school, and like immediately I was like the white girl because I was lighter than everybody else, and like it was just weird to go from like, you know, hearing the N-word or hearing other like black comments like around those people to like, you're black. I mean, you're.
We got a question. Yeah.
You know, it's hard for me to sit over here and hear y'all talk about this like this. I got a question for y'all from a man's point of view.
Okay.
What is y'all demeanor when a guy approaches y'all? Because the reason I say this is you said something early on about, as a man, we know how to approach y'all. Like, we know how to approach the young girls a certain way. We know how to approach the educated women a certain way. So, so what is y'all demeanor? What is y'all demeanor when y'all get approached? Are y'all coming off to the man or female a certain way that we just back up and don't want to be bothered, or is that your shield? This is what I do for a living. Like a lot of them church folks say we saved, and you know they put it out there first. So what's
if a guy comes up and tries to talk
guy
to
or female in your situation?
well, I just tell them I'm not available and I'm gay, and they be like, if you ain't want to talk to me, I'm like, no, I really,
I'm really gay.
I really be dyking for real, like for real, not for fake. Like,
Right.
if it's a girl, I mean, I have a girlfriend, so you know, I just still gotta.
I'm talking about before you got settled.
Oh,
What was your
before.
approach then? Y'all talked about how bad the guys was in the world, and there's some good ones out there.
Depends on what mood I was in. I might be like, oh, you want my number? Well, I want some new shoes. What we about to do?
That for real? That's what you say?
Depends on
Oh
what
my.
it was.
That's what you say for real, Jess.
I might have. I don't
Jess
know.
is like,
I mean, honestly, okay, so I get what you're getting at, right? And so I always try to be open, more or less, right? Let's be real. As you evolve, your wants, your needs, your interests also evolve. And, you know, dating is how you learn what you like and what you don't like. So I'm open, but I'm going to say you need to take me somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
ain't going to be on Netflix and chill. You're not coming to my place.
And ain't no come over and chill.
No, out the door. And I gauge who you are based on
Some men will
what
try.
you do. No, they do.
especially with COVID. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
come
it for
over.
everything.
That's old school, y'all. Women Uber eat now and DoorDash, and y'all ain't cooking no food on the first date. So.
Okay, hold
Oh
on
no,
now.
I should
Hold
be
on
looking
now.
at
I have a
these. You should take me
story.
somewhere nice.
I have a story though. I have a story. If y'all want a good story.
Yeah,
I was
please take
dating
me
this guy
somewhere
during the
nice.
pandemic, and I'm an old school Caribbean person, right? So I would legit make dinner, make the cocktails, come by. We're having a good
You
old time.
making cocktails.
You're not bartender too.
Okay.
So made the cocktails, he'll come by. Anyways, he to his face, lawyer, black at that.
You can't.
Because same pay grade, right? I'm
can't
giving you a pay grade example, right?
You can't
And
date
his
these
words to me
lawyers.
were, you're not like Atlanta girls. He was like, most Atlanta girls want Uber Eats and Clase Azul. And so he made a comparison where he basically took me for granted in the fact that I was being conventional and respectful. I was like, you know what? This is my last time being nice to someone. You just ruined it for everyone.
First of all, you don't want to date no lawyers out here.
We're going to start being extra.
Jesus.
The
They're the
lawyer.
worst
The
ones.
lawyer is saying don't date the
I
lawyer.
just seen too many lawyers. No.
Yeah.
Just being around them and just seeing, because like I'll be at the conventions or something with them, and like I'm like,
Ain't shit.
aren't you married? Because you're not acting real married right now.
Wow.
But the point was like, even
Wow.
if you act, you know, responsible, or you date them, or even if you're old school or whatever, if they want to be tricking, they're gonna be tricking. So
yeah.
it's like my
It's
thing
true.
is, take me out, let me see how you talk. I'll give you 2 or 3 dates to act correctly.
Yeah.
I'm not chasing you. You don't get caught from me. Step up. Let's go.
So is that the limit? Is it like, all right, 2 or 3 dates to determine whether you want to move forward or not? Or are you into casually dating? Like, are you into, all right, I'll hang out with this guy, or I'll go hang out with this person, and
if I feel like it, but if I get exhausted, I'm done. Like I don't put in that extra energy. Like I like to sleep 8 hours a night.
that's because he's saying because we got the
That's
bag.
fine.
that we're
Obviously-
not-
I mean, to me, seriously, it's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Like you said, a lot of men are scared of that because they feel like they can't control you. You got a weak ass cats out there like that. But it's good y'all got the bag of that where y'all can be yourself. A lot of women out there don't have the bag, put on a lot of shit because they can't go nowhere. But then some women got the bag and mean as shit to everybody because they got the bag. So it go both ways.
right,
So have the bag, be humble, and go from there.
right.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
still.
Atlanta's a different beast, though. Like,
I was gonna say, like,
it really is.
You say
Like,
cut and dry, but this is the beast right here.
Atlanta's a different beast. I've lived in New Orleans, I've lived in Florida, and I've lived in New York City. And see, I didn't live in Miami. I lived in Tallahassee, so it's probably a little different. You know, Tallahassee,
a little more chill,
yeah, it was
a little more local, yeah.
But yeah, Atlanta's just different. Like on the last episode I had when I first moved out here, I got on a dating app and I was trying to, find my way through. You remember I came to your house and I was like just swiping. I was like, girl, look at this.
I'm still on it too. I had to get Christian Mingle for real.
I can't stand y'all. Just say I was on Christian Mingle. I was not no Christian Mingle.
Nah, she was on Tinder.
I was on Hinge.
I was on Hinge
too.
too.
That's the little upgrade. Wait,
Yeah.
no,
Right.
I'm thinking of the League. The League is the little.
I hate the League.
Is the.
I hate
You
the
hate
League.
it? You was on it? I just
I've
heard
been
about
on
that
Hinge,
one.
Bumble,
The League didn't have enough chocolate for me.
It's by acceptance only, so I
Well,
got
I mean,
accepted. Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Statistically,
It was
but in
like-
Atlanta, you would assume. Like, I just feel like Atlanta is like the mecca of Black people.
Yeah.
But that goes back to
So-
what we're talking about with the making the money, right? Like when
Yeah.
they make their money, they feel like they shit don't stink.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a guy told me, it's like, no, it's 5 of us to one of you. I got choices.
Mm-hmm.
They be ugly as hell saying that shit too. I'll be like, sir, you can't even see your shoes right now when you stand up because your belly in the way. So, please stop.
Bro, like one of my boys literally told me, he was like, yeah, by 35, I'll get married. Then I was like, you're not even dating right now. He's like, well, it's not hard for me, honestly.
Yeah.
And he was telling the
But
truth.
he's serious though, because
He was
like
dead serious.
if
He's
you're
like,
a
I got
guy
my
and you're
plays.
professional and you have a good job and like money, you can meet a girl today and within 2 months, if you propose to her, she's gonna say yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's true.
because girls be so pressed to have a dude. It's like some girls, that's their whole identity.
Yes.
But you're not
a lot
that
of
alone,
women,
though.
that
Like,
is
I've
so
been
true.
saying that I will die alone. I have no issue. Like, I'll buy the big ass mansion I want. I buy my own shit. Like, I'm willing to die alone at this point.
Oh,
Right.
for sure.
Like, I'm not being cocky or being like super
Yeah,
feminist.
I mean, what is
I
it
just-
saying? You could be
I
bad by yourself.
Yeah, I need the heart. I
Yeah.
think it's so much. It's so painful. Dating is actually really painful. If we're honest, right? Dating is painful. It's a whole next like career. If depending on how it's
Yeah.
going.
But I also think it's your perspective into dating too, right? Like, I know for me, dating stopped being painful and everything when I was just dating. Like, when I wasn't so serious, when I wasn't trying to meet a husband and I just wanted to interact with good people, or I just wanted like decent people around me, that's when dating for me was just like, if you a good person and we click, it's sort of like just meeting. It's the same concept with meeting friends, meeting people that's like-minded. If we click
true.
and we got good vibes and we got good energy, we can be cool.
Yeah.
And if we click, it doesn't matter how much money you make. I mean, obviously, even my friends, we got a lawyer here, that's my friend. We got a doctor here, that's my friend. Like, we've met because of our similarities. And that's how my mind is with dating. If I'm interacting with you, you probably are intellectual. You probably got money. You probably have charisma or something that's going to allow us to connect on levels outside of me being your trophy or outside of you
Right.
being my man. Like, it's got to be deeper than...
I still need a
Then
little
that's
ratchet in
me.
there. I still need somebody who still want to turn up with me in
Okay,
there.
yes,
Like,
all of that too.
but still love the
For
Lord.
sure. Love the Lord and be ratchet, okay?
Listen,
For
I love
sure.
the about set it off. That's just me.
Right. We don't have a lot of time left. So if we covered so many things, and I know I just tuned into my Instagram live. We thought we were on before this, so
Yeah,
y'all missed a lot of it. So you
Wait, it
gotta
wasn't
click
on the whole
link in
time?
my- No.
I thought it was.
So you gotta click the link in the bio.
I could have died right away.
To go
Okay.
to
I'm so
DISCO100 YouTube channel to watch the full episode and subscribe. So
Yes.
we talked about a few different things. We talked about Jessica and her journey to being a lawyer and her lawyer bait organization she started, which was really to call out all of the the lawyers
Finance
out there
lawyers.
dressing fly and being sexy. And with Sharice, we covered a few different things with her career, being an engineer, while working full time, while being in school. Of course, we touched on dating. Jessica has been in a committed relationship with her boo. What's her name? Because she's an artist too.
Charmaine.
Charmaine. So shout out to Charmaine who makes music. What's her Instagram?
You plugging her.
Right. You're trying to plug her in.
It's Manie, MAINEYY, Mela, MELA.
Okay. So shout out to Charmaine. Does she make beats and stuff like that too? Or-
Yeah, but
okay.
she's an adjuster. That's like she. just
Okay,
likes
that's
to-
what she. All right. Cool.
Yeah, she's really the ops because like she's an adjuster. and
Yeah.
that's like the ops basically.
okay.
But it's cool.
Cool. And we touched a little bit on, keeping the skin clear and staying fly with Sharice and just how really just decreasing your stress levels and taking time to center things back into yourself has just pretty much catapulted you in your health and your confidence and how you feel about yourself. And yeah, so we thank you guys for tuning in. If there's any one last word or anything you want people out there that's listening to know about you or your business or someone's business that you support, but now's the time.
You can go first.
Well, I will say thank you for having me. It was an honor. My closing statement will be that you're able to still be bad as hell and still be in all these amazing fields. I stand for a female who knows what she wants and is willing to chase it at whatever cost. So happy to be in your ladies' company. And yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Again, or to repeat what she said, thank you for having me on. Thank you for coming to my birthday party. Oh, yes, I do personal injury. So if you or a loved one is in an accident, give me a call. We have offices, well, 4 offices in Florida, an office in Houston, and then I'm the managing partner for the Atlanta office. My number is 904-888-9972. And just like she was saying, just be you and don't feel like you have to assimilate to be lit, and you don't have to stop being lit to be good at your job.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, thanks for having us. Thanks for being here.
All right. Bye.
Bye.